What if I told you that just a handful of soaked seeds could bring earthworms crawling from every corner of your yard? It sounds almost too simple, but this little trick can transform your garden soil without backbreaking work or expensive products. For seniors who love gardening but don't want the heavy digging or costly chemicals, this method is a game changer. Healthier soil, easier gardening, and bigger harvests, all from something you can prepare right at home. Stick around, because I'll show you the exact trick, why it works, and how you can try it in your own backyard starting today. Why earthworms matter. Before we dive into the soaked seed trick, let's take a moment to understand why earthworms are such an incredible gift to gardeners, especially for those of us who want big results without the heavy lifting. Earthworms are nature's free gardeners. They work quietly beneath the soil, day and night, without needing to be paid, fed, or even thanked. Yet the difference they make in your garden is nothing short of amazing. First, they loosen compact soil. If you've ever struggled with hard ground that feels like concrete, you know how exhausting digging can be. But when earthworms move through the soil, they create tiny tunnels. These little passageways let air and water move freely, making it easier for roots to grow strong and deep. That means less digging for you and healthier plants that can take care of themselves. Second, earthworms enrich the soil with their castings. Think of castings as nature's purest fertilizer, rich in nutrients, perfectly balanced, and completely chemical-free. Unlike store-bought products that can get pricey or feel overwhelming to apply, worm castings blend gently into the soil. Plants absolutely thrive on them, producing greener leaves, sturdier stems, and more abundant harvests. And here's a picture to hold on to. Imagine the soil in your garden as a kitchen. The plants are your family waiting to be fed. Now, earthworms are like those quiet neighbors who sneak in at night, cook a nutritious meal, and leave it on the table without making a fuss. By the time morning comes, your garden is healthier, stronger, and more alive, and you didn't lift a finger. And the best part? You don't have to go out and buy a single worm. You don't need fancy equipment, or expensive chemicals, or even a trip to the garden center. If you give them the right invitation, earthworms will come to you for free. They'll move in, settle down, and start improving your soil almost immediately. So, if you've been wishing for an easier way to garden, one that saves your back, your time, and your money, the answer might just be hiding under your feet. And in the next chapter, I'll reveal exactly how you can use something as simple as soaked seeds to roll out the welcome mat for these hardworking garden helpers. The secret ingredient: soaked seeds. Now that you know why earthworms matter so much, let's reveal the little secret that will invite them into your garden's soaked seeds. That's right, something as ordinary as corn, millet, or wheat seeds can become an irresistible treat for earthworms when you prepare them the right way. And here's the good news. It's so simple, you could start tonight. Here's how it works. When you soak seeds in water, something magical begins to happen. The seeds start to soften and, in some cases, sprout just a tiny bit. During this process, natural sugars and mild scents are released. To us, it might not smell like much, but to earthworms, it's like ringing the dinner bell. The fermentation creates a gentle aroma that worms can detect underground, drawing them in from every direction. Think of it like baking bread in your kitchen. Have you ever noticed how the smell of fresh bread seems to travel down the street, making everyone hungry? That's exactly what happens in your soil. The soaked seeds send out signals, and the worms come crawling to investigate. And once they arrive, they stay because they've found both food and a comfortable environment. Now, let's keep this senior-friendly and simple. You don't need any special equipment or complicated steps. All you need is a small bowl, a handful of seeds, and some clean water. Just cover the seeds with water and let them sit overnight. That's it. By the next day, they'll be soft, slightly swollen, and ready to use. If you prefer, you can let them soak a little longer until you see tiny sprouts starting to peek out. That's when they're most attractive to worms. The beauty of this trick is its ease. No heavy lifting, no expensive fertilizers, and no complicated routines. Just a bowl of seeds and a little patience. Even better, this is something you can do indoors at your kitchen counter, sitting comfortably while the seeds do all the work. On screen, you might imagine a close-up of seeds soaking in a clear bowl of water, with gentle ripples and maybe even a few sprouts beginning to appear. It's a calming, almost meditative image, and it shows just how low effort this process really is. So the secret ingredient isn't a chemical or a costly product. It's something humble, affordable, and already trusted by generations before us: seeds. Prepared with a little water and time, they become a powerful magnet for earthworms, and the first step in turning your soil into a living, breathing foundation for healthier plants. In the next chapter, we'll talk about how to use these soaked seeds in your garden, so you can roll out the welcome mat for worms and see the results for yourself. How to use the trick. Now that you know the secret ingredient, soaked seeds, let's walk through how to actually use this trick in your garden. Don't worry, it's easy, gentle on your body, and doesn't require any heavy tools. Step 1. Soak your seeds. Take a handful of corn, millet, or wheat seeds and place them in a bowl of water. Let them soak for at least 24 hours, or up to 48 hours if you want them extra soft or even slightly sprouted. That soaking process is what releases the sugars and scents that worms love. By the end of a day or two, you'll notice the seeds swelling with life, and that's your signal they're ready. Step 2. Scatter the seeds. Once your seeds are ready, simply take them outside and sprinkle them lightly over your garden soil. You can also tuck them just beneath the surface if you prefer, but there's no need to dig deeply. Think of it like tossing birdseed on the ground. Quick, simple, and easy. Step 3. Keep the soil moist. This is the key. After scattering the seeds, give the soil a gentle watering to create a welcoming environment. Worms love moisture because it helps them move through the soil more easily. The combination of soft soil, a bit of water, and the scent of the soaked seeds creates an irresistible invitation for worms to move in and get to work. And here's the best part. No bending, no digging, no backbreaking labor. Just soak, sprinkle, and water. That's it. From there, nature takes over. Worms follow the scent, slip into the soil, and begin their quiet, tireless work of loosening, fertilizing, and enriching your garden. Now let's make this even more relatable. Have you ever noticed how, after a rainstorm, worms suddenly appear on sidewalks and driveways? That's because the rain makes the soil damp and the worms come to the surface to breathe. With this soaked seed trick, you're creating a similar effect, but instead of waiting for the weather, you can make it happen anytime you want, right in your own backyard. Picture it, sitting comfortably on your porch with a watering can in hand, gently sprinkling your soil and knowing that within hours, worms will be on their way, eager to improve your garden for you. It's a quiet kind of magic, powered by something as humble as seeds and water. So give it a try. Prepare a batch of soaked seeds tonight, and by tomorrow, you'll be ready to roll out the welcome mat for one of nature's most powerful helpers. The benefits over time. Now that you know how to use the soaked seed trick, let's talk about what happens next, not just today, not just this week, but over time. Because the real beauty of this method is that it keeps giving back, season after season. When earthworms move into your garden, they don't just pass through. They settle in, multiply, and create an entire underground community. Each worm digs tunnels, breaks up hard soil, and leaves behind nutrient-rich castings. Over time, your garden becomes softer, looser, and far more fertile, without you having to lift a shovel. Every year that passes, the soil improves more and more. And here's the wonderful part. Plants respond to this in the most remarkable way. With richer soil, they don't need as much fertilizer. Their roots grow stronger and deeper because they can breathe and drink more easily. That means healthier leaves, brighter flowers, and bigger harvests. Imagine tomatoes so plump they almost spill over your basket, or lettuce so crisp you can taste the freshness just by looking at it. For seniors, this is especially powerful. You don't have to garden harder, you garden smarter. Instead of fighting with tough soil, lugging heavy bags of compost, or spending money on chemicals, you can let the worms do the hard work. Your role is simply to invite them in and enjoy the results. It's like having a team of tiny helpers under the ground, working day and night while you relax on the porch. Let me share a quick story. One gardener, an elderly woman named Margaret, tried this trick in her small backyard garden. She had always loved growing tomatoes, but found that the plants were weak and the fruits were small. After she scattered soaked seeds and kept her soil moist, she began to notice more earthworms every time she watered. That season, her tomatoes doubled in size, red, juicy, and brimming with flavor. She said it felt like she had gone back 20 years in her gardening, without breaking a sweat. That's the kind of transformation you can expect when you partner with nature, instead of fighting against it. Worms don't ask for much, just a little food and moisture. In return, they'll give you a healthier, more abundant garden year after year. So when you think about the soaked seed trick, don't just see it as a quick fix. See it as planting the seeds, quite literally, of a long-term relationship with your soil, one that pays off season after season, with less effort and more reward. Common mistakes to avoid. Now, before you put this soaked seed trick into practice, let's pause for a moment and cover some of the common mistakes gardeners sometimes make. The good news? These are easy to avoid, and once you know them, you'll be set up for success year after year. Mistake number 1, over-soaking the seeds. Remember, seeds only need about 24 to 48 hours in water. If you leave them sitting too long, they can start to rot, giving off a sour smell. Worms are attracted to the sweet, slightly fermented scent of freshly sprouted seeds. But if the smell turns harsh or unpleasant, it's no longer an invitation, it's a warning sign. So keep it simple. Soak for a day or two, then use them right away. Mistake number 2, dumping too many in one spot. It's easy to think more seeds must mean more worms, but balance is key. If you pile them up in one area, the seeds can clump, rot, or even attract pests you don't want. Instead, think of scattering them like you're feeding birds. A light, even spread across your soil works best. This way, worms will spread throughout your garden rather than crowding into a single patch. Mistake number 3, using chemical fertilizers nearby. Worms are sensitive creatures. Harsh fertilizers, pesticides, or chemical treatments can drive them away or even harm them. Remember, worms thrive in natural, gentle conditions. So if you want them to stay and multiply, avoid putting chemicals near the soaked seeds. Instead, trust the worms and their castings to enrich your soil the natural way. Now here's the encouraging part. These mistakes are easy to sidestep. Just soak for the right amount of time, sprinkle seeds lightly, and keep the environment chemical-free. That's all it takes to make your soil a welcoming home for earthworms. And here's a line worth remembering. Stick with this gentle method, and your soil will reward you for years. Every season, the worms will return the favor with healthier soil, stronger plants, and easier gardening for you. So as you get ready to try this out in your own backyard, keep these simple reminders in mind. They'll help you avoid frustration, stay confident, and see the best results possible. And soon enough, you'll notice the difference not just in your soil, but in the joy and ease you feel while tending your garden. As we wrap up, let's pause and remember a simple truth: nature always gives back when we give it a chance. Just like Mr. Fig once showed us how kitchen scraps could bloom into something beautiful, these soaked seeds remind us that even the smallest effort can bring life, abundance, and joy into our gardens. It doesn't take heavy work, fancy tools, or expensive products. Just a bowl of seeds, a little water, and the patience to let nature do what it's been doing for generations. The worms come, the soil grows richer, and the harvests reward us season after season. So, if this little trick gave you an idea or a spark of inspiration, go ahead and give it a try. Then share it with a gardening friend, a neighbor, or even a grandchild. Passing on wisdom is one of the greatest gifts we can give. And don't forget to subscribe to the Evergreen Seniors, where wisdom grows, just like our gardens.